Right, so it's December the 19th, 2017, and the time is about 20 past 3. I'm not really sure if I want to record this, but in a few days, on the 23rd of December to be exact, that marks about the 3rd year that my great grandmother has been dead. And because it's just about that time, I was thinking to myself about how much I missed her and what she meant to me and my family. So, like with most other stuff I've been doing in my life, I've been writing some poetry, if it can even class as that as well. I'm not exactly a professional or even a general poet, to be honest with you, but I do these kind of things to get my thoughts and feelings out of the way, just so I can keep myself in check, if that makes sense, of course. But most I've written for both just my great grandmother and my great granddad. I simply titled it Joan, her name. Dear Spirit, where did you go? The last waltz is meant to last forever. Don't be shy to take my hand as I wave you goodbye, for I won't be long. Don't cry for me, I'll see you soon. Remember that I'll always be here. Be home with your hubby and play your song, for the last waltz is meant to last forever. And that, well, for those who aren't that familiar with the last waltz, it's actually a reference to the song called The Last Waltz by Engelbert Humperdinck. And the reason I mentioned that is because it was her favourite song and it was played at a funeral. And I don't really know how many of you have been to a funeral before in your life. Now, unfortunately, it's something that just happens. But it's one of those things that just sticks to you for your entire life. And even my grandmother, who I've been talking to quite a lot and who I have quite a decent relationship with, even she agreed with me that even just shortly after the funeral, every time you close your eyes you can just think of that song as the curtains close and you see a coffin disappear for the last time. And so, like, every anniversary of her death, I always listen to that song just to remind me of how much I miss her and how much I'll always love her for who she was. And for the next bit of quote and unquote poetry, I think, yeah, it was about 9th of March, I think it was, that someone in my family eventually passed away. Although I'm not exactly that sure what it was that killed him. But what I can tell you is that his name was Pat, and he's been a part of my life since as long as I can remember. I think it was about when me and my older brother were about maybe 5 years old at the time, about 5 and 6. And every time we'd be out to see our mother, he'd be there with her. And I just remember him being this fantastic guy we used to hang around with. He used to play guitar, we'd sit and sing together, we'd have a laugh all the time, he'd always take us out, and he always used to take care of us. Like, in a way, he was a second dad, if that makes any sense at all. Like my dad away from my actual dad. And he had a son of his own, and I also got along with him pretty decently. Like, even now it just feels so surreal that he's just not here anymore. And like, even as I record all this and read the poetry, he gave me something a long time ago. Like when he was in bed. He was ill at the time. Like incredibly ill. I just could not believe how terrible he looked. And so he gave me his ring. And I'm not really sure why. I mean, it's a big heavy thing that's gold. And I just knew it meant so much to him, and every time I look at it, I'm constantly reminded of who this guy was and what he meant to me. And so without stalling anymore, I just call this to Pat. Surely you don't realise the true fact of the impact it had on many. Days were fewer, colder, darker. As if nothing happened. Your feet glide against the floor, hardly touching, yet they create an echo. Although you can no longer breathe warm breaths of air, the replacing cold lets me know you are there. A face without a name. Won't you remind me again? I'm sorry you had to go after treating yourself to one bottle too many. I sometimes see your face, almost like I forgot that you were deceased. I wish it wasn't true, because of what you meant to us. But hopefully, you've found a better place in the stars where you belong. Never to be forgotten. A memory of a star. I miss you. Just like that every day. Like every day, I have to be reminded that it's gone, and no, it's not easy, but then you think about the one thing that Dr. Seuss said, which was, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And yeah, I do smile that it happened. I'm glad that I knew Pat and Grandma Joan. I mean, it is different now that they're both gone, but when someone leaves your life after they've had a huge impact on who you are and what you might become of in life, like, even if you don't believe in this kind of stuff, it is kind of comforting to know that they could always be just watching you and just letting themselves see you grow up, if you know what I mean. I mean, after he died, shortly afterwards, as a matter of fact, I can remember just like experiencing weird dreams and just random things happening around my house. And it seemed really weird to me at the time because I was the only one who was experiencing this. And I don't know what exactly happened, but I used to actually always wear the ring, like I am now, after he died. Every time I look at it, all I can picture is it still on Pat's finger, as he sat there with his guitar in hand. And I'll just say it now, I really miss them all. And it's just strange not having them both around. And I'm not really that used to recording these kind of things, as you can tell, but I do this kind of stuff to get it out in the open. And I do encourage others to do it as well, because it certainly does help and it brings some comfort to others. And I think this has really gone on long enough, so as I normally say on my thin fiction blogs, with love, from England, FireRain.